It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. You all are checking out a new episode of the RCWR show for this Monday night of July the 17th, 2023. How the hell y'all been? I hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Hope y'all are doing your respective part in staying cool and staying hydrated, because depending on where you are in North America, at least over here on the East Coast, can't speak about what's happening Central and on the West Coast. Summer is definitely here, and man, are we making up for lost time. I am telling you, man, it has been scorching freaking hot. How hot has it been? At least over here in the DMV, it's been so bad that one of my side hustles on top of my main 9 to 5, I do a little bit of deliveries here and there. And so the one thing that kept being requested from me over the weekend was ice cream. And no bull, my song that I was pushing in my car as I'm just blazing down neighborhoods, hooking people up, was Van Halen's Ice Cream Man. And I remember the first time I had mentioned that song, my wife is going, I don't think that's one I ever heard of. And she's a Van Halen fan, but she's not deep into their catalog like I am. She goes, I don't think I've heard that song before. Oh, let me play that for you. So once I got done playing it for her, she then goes, yeah, well, the ice cream that you're delivering and the ice cream that David Lee Roth is delivering is obviously two different things. And I'm going, yeah, but still, you get it. Come on now, you get it, you know? But that's how hot it's been over here. People have just been requesting ice cream left and right. I tell you, one thing that's been pretty cool is the fact that people have been requesting the most, wow, I didn't know that flavor existed, like off the wall flavors, I think. And then I'm thinking about it more and going, well, no, that would kind of be right around my ballpark, so to speak. I'll give you a perfect example. How many of you all knew that Haagen-Dazs has a mint green tea flavored ice cream? Just let that marinate for those of you that's probably never heard that before. I know my mind was blown over this weekend. I'm going, there's no way they would have that. How is that flavor even? Surely that's an error or something. And sure enough, I freaking see it. And it's, well, goddamn, how about that? This son of a bitch actually does exist. I can't believe that. You're checking out episode number 1037 of the RCWR show. WWE RAW is now in the books. I know I haven't been polling you guys the past couple of weeks. I'm still getting back into the groove of things, because after all, we've missed a couple of consecutive Mondays here and there with the classes and everything. By the way, appreciate those of you, whether you're commenting on the videos once you're checking them out for on demand, or you're checking out the audio for the downloads, or you're interacting with me on social media. I appreciate appreciate those of you that's been giving me the early congrats. You're seeing what's going on with my progress whenever I give updates as far as school goes and everything. And yeah, I'm very, very, very excited for fall. It's going to be badass to see how everything goes down here. I honestly, I won't have to wait that long for fall classes, because my fall classes, it may sound weird to some of you guys, but my fall classes will actually start the final week in August, and then I'll be riding that bad boy out until almost the third week in December. That's when it'll wrap up. And then from there, as I had mentioned, I think on last week's show or the week before, after that, I'll only have about less than 10 credits, maybe even lesser than that. Basically, I will only have to take at that point maybe 3 more classes to get those remaining credits, and then boom, I'm pretty much going to be good to go. And I think at that point it's pretty much just going to be electives that I'll have to take. So the family, friends, they've already, it was crazy because this weekend they were going, so obviously you're thinking about transferring, right? I'm going, well, of course, yeah, I am strongly considering transferring once I'm done getting my associates. Yeah. Well, have you thought about where you're going to be transferring to yet? No, I haven't quite thought about it yet. A couple of names are floating around here and there, but not quite sure yet. So I was getting pitched by this family member, and then I was getting pitched by this other family member, then I was getting pitched by this friend, and I'm getting pitched by that friend about why I should go to this place. So I got my list down to 2. We'll see how that pans out. One of them definitely has an exceptional broadcasting / journalism curriculum and everything. The other one, I gotta reach out to them personally to see, but from what I was researching online, it doesn't seem like they even cater towards that curriculum. And I'm kind of scratching my head going, that can't be right. Seriously, that cannot be right. But I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, because maybe I just wasn't looking in the right place. But in the event that, no, I did read it right the first go around and they actually do not specialize in that curriculum, then by default, I will know who the winner is, assuming that the people I ultimately would like to go to, if they'll have me. I mean, my grades are on point, but sometimes it can come down to who you know and certain quotas being filled. You know how it goes sometimes. Just, yeah. So, other than that, nice, quiet, relaxing weekend. I actually got caught up earlier tonight before Raw came on. I watched the Battle of the Belts 7 special. I also watched, sad I had to watch that on demand, but given how everything had panned out, I'm glad I was able to. It's just an inconvenience because I hate when I have to watch something that's now on demand and I've got to go through the commercials. There's no skipping them in real time. That's the only thing that freaking sucks. And every time when it comes to these Battle of the Belt specials, I somehow am in a position where I always forget to hit record on the DVR. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have the same freaking thing as well. I mean, all the other AEW shows, I'm fine, but for some reason with these Battle of the Belt specials, I always forget to hit the record on those bad boys. So as a result, I usually have to check out the stuff on demand library. So watch that. Watch the latest episode of AEW Collision. Saw how the tournament finals had went about for CM Punk versus Ricky Starks, Willow Nightingale taking on Ruby Soho. I'll talk a little bit more about that on this very episode, but let's get the talk of Raw out the way. Look, Raw was out there in Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta. And Atlanta, the mayor, the people, the citizens, everybody involved, they probably were over the moon and back with having WWE come through there and everything, because when you think of Atlanta, one of the first names that definitely comes to your mind is Tyler Perry, because he does a lot of his filming for movies, TV shows. He does a lot of it out there in Atlanta, so he is definitely giving back to the community in a big way. But I mentioned all of that because as we left off from last week's show, we know that the strike is going on right now, and it has hit really hard, man. I tried to tell you guys, I've briefed you guys about this off and on the past couple of weeks without sounding like a broken record and not trying to sound nauseating, repeating the same thing over and over, but I did my best to really prepare you guys and everything. And when you think about the major cities in North America that, hey man, when it comes to TV shows, when it comes to movies or documentaries, this is the hot spot. You can do everything that you need to do right here. Do your filming here. Yeah, your budget. Yeah, we got everything you need right here. And now that the strike is in full range effect, a lot of businesses, your favorite TV shows, your favorite movies, it's just pretty much on hold right now until all this dies down and everything. You see Christopher Nolan, he's got that Oppenheimer movie that's getting ready to drop later this week. I am so ecstatic for that. The trailer for that movie looks freaking phenomenal. I gotta say, I have been a Christopher Nolan fan, my God, for a long time. I want to say maybe one of the first movies I came across of Nolan's, man, what was the one with the late Robin Williams and Al Pacino? And Al Pacino basically played a crooked cop, and he accidentally shot and killed his partner. Robin Williams, apparently his character, because they were trying to find Robin Williams' character. They were hunting him down because he's this serial killer or whatnot. Apparently, he saw Pacino kill his partner, and it's basically this weird cat and mouse game where Robin is essentially telling Pacino, hey, you and me, we might be so different as far as our upbringing goes, but whether you want to admit it or not, we're of the same cloth. And Pacino's like, hell no, that is far from, no, you're delusional, my dog. That's gonna bother me now. Hilary Swank was in that movie as well. That was one of my first earliest memories. I'm actually looking up Christopher Nolan's movies right now. I can't believe it's not coming into my head right now. Prestige was also pretty good. Insomnia. I knew it was like a simple name, but Insomnia, that was one of the first films that I ever saw of Christopher Nolan. Memento was exceptionally good, as well as Prestige, but for me, everything kicked off with Insomnia. And I just felt after seeing that, and you got to keep in mind at that point, Nolan had about 4, maybe 5 films already under his belt, but I didn't see any of those. So for me, by the time I got to Insomnia, my whole thing was, whoever this Christopher Nolan dude is, this dude's gonna be around for quite a long time. I looked at him like the next Steven Spielberg for movies, basically, if you want to do it on that serious tip and all that. But my point in regards to the whole strike, it's so crazy what's going on. You see how Nolan's been making the news. He pretty much has said he is not going to be working on another movie until this whole strike is resolved. That includes sitting down, taking a pen and paper and writing some stuff out, writing some rough drafts. No, he is not going to be doing any of that. There was supposed to be a red carpet for the Oppenheimer movie, but because when the strike went into effect last week, that pretty much put that ain't happening, which sucks too, because when you look at the freaking cast that is in that movie, it is just, they got some heavy hitting names in that bad boy. So I'm definitely going to be seeing that this weekend. It was either that or go see the new Mission Impossible. My whole thing was, I love Tom Cruise. Don't get me wrong. Love Tom Cruise. There's no but. It's just one of those, let me go see Nolan. Because it's been a good minute since I've seen a Nolan flick in theaters. I didn't even get a chance to see Tenet. I didn't see that in theaters. I actually saw that through HBO Max and all that. But yeah, the strike, it's in full effect right now. So you would like to believe that a company like WWE, they're rolling through Atlanta. You would like to believe that all the powers that be definitely rolled out the red carpet and then some for them tonight. Great seeing Cody Rhodes getting that solid rock star ovation. Oh, I loved it. I ate that up big time, man. I just kicked on back. I was rocking in my chair, enjoying my drink, watching that. And Cody, obviously out there, calling Brock Lesnar his version of hard times and everything. And you just knew the moment that Cody introduced his mom that he was going to be in for an ass whooping courtesy of Brock Lesnar. And sure enough, we didn't have to wait that long. We thought maybe this was going to be something where it was going to be drug out all night long because Cody's thinking Brock was going to play the cat and mouse game. Pretty much Brock will come out when he feels he's ready or whatnot. And that's not even what the hell happened. I mean, yeah, Brock's music played a couple of times. Cody was ready to throw it down, but Brock didn't come out. So the final time, I think it was maybe the third time, I think Brock tried to psych out Cody at least 3 times with the entrance music. Cody finally, very frustrated, just went backstage. Next thing you know, you see a steel chair just come flying from out of nowhere. Then you see Cody just go flying out of nowhere, and there he is in all of his glory. Country Brock. I love Country Brock. Seriously, I love Country Brock. Beating the holy piss out of Cody right in front of his mom. Putting on that trademark Kimura lock. Oh, trying to re-injure that left arm. I dug it, man. I love that whole sequence. Mom coming off so concerned. I just wish she had a little bit more emotion. I always talk about emotional context. I just wish Mom would have been a little bit more vocal, a little bit more animated with her hands and all of that. I wish she would have been trying to reach after Brock Lesnar and everything. But, out of a scale from 1 to 10 for what it was worth, I thought Mom's did just right. I probably would put Mom's at about a 6.5 to a 7. I mean, she definitely sold that look of concern for her child. She definitely sold that pretty well. It was just a lot of the things that was happening to her baby boy. I just wish she would have been, to an extent, a bit overly animated, but it was good for what it was worth. I don't believe we ever got an update on Cody Rhodes after that. That pretty much was it for the night, which was a rare first because normally we've seen these instances where Cody gets his ass handed to him and we'll see a backstage interviewer, be it Byron Saxton or there's some new girl that I think she popped up maybe 2 weeks ago, brunette. You guys that watch Raw, you know exactly who I'm talking about. She's pretty cool, by the way. I like her. Nice presence. Very good. I like her. She'll definitely go pretty far. I can see her eventually helping out with some of the WWE pre-shows, post-shows, maybe do some stuff on the bump, things of that nature. I can definitely see her in due time doing that. But usually when Cody gets his ass handed to him, we see him in these follow-up little backstage interviews where he comments and everything, and that was not the exception this go round. To the point, we didn't even get a health update on Cody. Yeah, it would have been really nice. Did Cody have to go to the hospital? Is he getting an MRI or 2 or 3 done just to make sure that everything's okay with the brother? What's going on? Hey, we'll know all of that when it comes to next week. So is it safe to say that by Country Brock beating the bejeebus out of Cody, that this was his nice way of officially accepting the challenge to face Cody at SummerSlam? I mean, I think it's safe to say, yeah. I think it's safe to say. A little bit later on in the night, speaking of challenges being put out there and everything, I know one of the other hot talking points has been what's been happening with Ricochet and the Maverick himself. No, I'm not talking about Top Gun Maverick. I'm talking about the other Maverick. At least that's what he's being dubbed as, Logan Paul. And they're still dragging it out a little bit. And look, rightfully so, because at the time, we're like a month plus away from SummerSlam. But, now we're, it's getting close, right? It's getting a little bit close. And we're building up towards it a little bit more. We see that Ricochet and Logan Paul, they've been going back and forth on social media and everything. Logan Paul responding to Ricochet on his podcast, talking to trash and all that. We get an update that Logan Paul is going to be in the house next week. So it's safe to say that as far as whether or not Logan Paul, because remember, when Ricochet did try to challenge Logan Paul for a match at SummerSlam, Logan Paul shot that whole bad boy down and everything. So, now that things have continued to intensify through social media, including the podcasting and all that, you would like to believe that come next Monday on Raw, things are really going to pop in such a way where, yeah, you'll definitely are going to hear the announcement, Logan Paul, Ricochet, one-on-one. And all of that. Kind of interesting when you see what's happening with Brock and Cody, okay? But at the same time, you're looking at the build-up for Cody and Brock at SummerSlam. All the several weeks, the months that has been put into that respected arc to get us to SummerSlam. You just got to chef's kiss and give that a lot of props to all involved and everything. But then you look at how funny thing happened on the way to the store, all right? A happy coincidence. You see what's happening here with Ricochet and Logan Paul, and you can't help but, hey, once again, we've got some seeds here that's been planted, from one little moment that happened in this particular match between these two guys, and it's pretty much been built up from that moment to get us to where we're going to be next week when they finally do announce the two are going to be fighting at SummerSlam. It's great. I've got no problem with the way WWE has been making the roundabout of storytelling and weeks of storytelling on top of that to help sell us more on these big fights, these big epic encounters that's going to be going down on the pay-per-view. So it's a nice touch, what they got going on when it's all said and done. Love it. I definitely love it. Let's see. So we got that development. We got new women's tag team champions, the Karens. The Karens are the new tag team champions. I'm talking about Chelsea Green and my girl Sonya Deville. They are now the new women's tag team champions. Of course, they had a little bit of help from Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was extremely, extremely salty in a backstage segment where she bumped into Raquel Rodriguez and beat that sister like she stole her weave or something, man. She put her boot in where, okay? She really, really took it to frickin' Raquel. Did a serious number on her leg and everything. Now, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, they were backstage minding their own business. Jackie is the girl's name that I'm thinking of, by the way, the new backstage interviewer. They were chatting it up with Jackie, And, they were talking about how, there's not one deciding factor, that will make them win. Because they basically were talking about the tag match that they had coming up against Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. But they pretty much were saying, look, it is what it is, but we're prepared for this. We're fighters. We aren't gonna back down from anybody. Rhea Ripley comes in, and she pretty much has issue with what Liv Morgan just said. She gets in the face of Raquel, and who says no, and not even her, and Liv doesn't. You got Liv right there. Liv's trying to be vocal and everything, and freaking headbutt to Liv Morgan, little Liv Morgan, headbutt, just wham, from Rhea Ripley. Right there, you had Rhea and Raquel go right at it. They're brawling on the floor, all of that. Jamie Noble, comes in there, tries to break them up and everything. Rhea managed to grab the title after a huge kick. Raquel was favoring her knee. She's asking for a doctor. So you're seeing that development, and you're going, yo, what's going to happen with that tag match coming up? How is that in? We would not have to wait that long, man. We wouldn't have to wait that long. So we got new tag champions, but I mean, look, man. On the one side, see, a lot of things can be said that's true. On the one side, you're looking at Sonya Deville. You're looking at Chelsea Green. You definitely got to rewind it back a couple of months ago when I said right here on this very show, yo, I'm really liking the team of Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, to the point I think not only do they gel extremely well together, but eventually I could see them becoming tag champions. They definitely, WWE, they should really go in that direction. You can get some serious mileage with them as some chicken shit Karen heels who are just crook, a lot of crooks, a lot of shenanigans. They are doing everything in their power to retain those titles, but eventually they meet their match. And I think I said as far back then, if you wanted to have a young up-and-coming tag team go over to become champions, those girls would be the perfect ones. If not them, then at the time when Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, which we'll talk about as there was a development with those girls on tonight's show, said, or you could go with them in order to put some younger girls over and everything. And as we saw when Ronda and Shayna were champions, that pretty much went over like a wet fart. We're thinking this go around, okay, well, maybe with Liv and Raquel, okay, maybe things are going to be much different. No, just kidding. No. So you're looking at these tag titles at this point, and you're going, Jesus, what is the relevancy here, if there's any? Because these titles are being essentially treated like 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 hot potatoes, basically. Okay, and it comes off to a degree Rousseau-ish, from a standpoint, Pritchard-ish as well. We're just hot-shotting a storyline through the use of some titles, and when done right, it can be a good thing, but, you're literally, if you're WWE and you're the powers that be in WWE, I mean, you just can't help, not if you're WWE, but if you're a wrestling fan, you can't help but look at the way these particular titles have been hot-shotted and be saying to yourself, you know what, Naomi, aka Trinity in Impact Wrestling, and Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks. Okay, as a fan, I get it now. I may not agree with how they went about taking care of their business, but okay, I get it now. I understand why they put their foot down and pretty much were like, we thought we were going to be going in this direction with the division. We thought we were going to see this happen. We thought this was going to go down, and this and this. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. The match itself, I mean, 4 minutes and some change when it was all said and done. I mean, the match went down exactly how you thought it was going to go down and everything, but yeah, we got new champions, whatever. I'm happy. Look, I'm happy for Sonya and Chelsea. I am. And I'm hoping that they will have a much longer title reign than the past 2 set of champions. I'm still holding out hope that maybe in the process we can build up some younger girls. I'm eyeballing Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. I'm eyeballing those two to ultimately get the titles off of those girls. We shall see, because I'm a big fan of theirs. Love their work and everything. So a sit-down interview with Seth Rollins. Byron Saxton was conducting this. Byron asked him what his plans are for the title, and I'd be like, rephrase that. Like, we've seen what's been happening with Seth Rollins and this title so far. He's been a fighting champion. He has been all over the place. I've been everywhere, man. I mean, literally, that's his song these days. It's not the, whoa, not that sing-along. No, it is the I've been everywhere, man. That is his song right now. Seth talks about how he has big plans, especially with SummerSlam being right around the corner. Finn Balor interrupts this and pretty much tells him, look, I think I've earned a place in regards to that championship, competing for it. I'd like to believe I've earned a spot at the very top of that list, right? And he kicks Saxton out and everything and takes a seat. I mean, this was a fun moment because it almost seemed like you were watching something from an episode of the Steve Wilkos show. Back in the vintage days of Steve Wilkos would grab a seat and sit right next down to whoever he felt was the biggest piece of human scum that walked on the face of the planet. And he's got this serious yet calm demeanor when he's talking with them. But you knew Steve was about ready to crack a foot up in a person's ass, right? Yeah, this was kind of one of those type of moments that kind of had me chuckling a little bit. Finn Balor, you know why I'm here. By the way, when Seth Rollins dresses more feminine than your wife, it's a serious problem. I'm looking at the outfit that Rollins is wearing, and look, call me an old man just throwing his fists up at the cloud. I'm behind on the times or whatever. I see what some of the NBA players be wearing pre-game, post-game, and I be nodding my head going, yo, outlandish, but fly as fuck. Yeah, I'd wear that. And I'm seeing this stuff that's happening with Rollins, and I'm going, dude, what the hell? A lot of times I'm looking at the attire, and I'm going, how am I supposed to take this guy seriously as a champion with these ridiculous outfits that he's wearing? What the hell, man? So, he's like, champion of what? Is he the champion of breakdancing at the nightclub at DuPont Circle? Like, what's going on here, okay? But, yeah, I had a nice hearty laugh seeing that. And then it doesn't help seeing Finn Balor in his Jamiroquai style type of outfit, right? He's got this big purple. I mean, he looked like he was wearing something from the video game Saints Row tonight, okay? I love the color of purple. I do. I love the color purple, especially when it's mixed in with a little bit of black and all that going on. I love it. And what Finn was wearing tonight was badass. But it's just, they're two styles tonight, it did not mesh well for me whatsoever. But Balor, being the more serious one here, saying, look, we both know that the issues between one another very far from over. You know what you got to do to make this right. Go talk to your man Adam Pearce. Let's make the match. Let's run this one more time. Seth nods his head, talks about how he understands, but also tells Finn, yo, gotta stop living in the past. It's time to move forward. Finn says, nah, man, you don't understand. I like living in this world of chaos that I'm in right now, and it's through chaos where ultimately I will take that title away from you. So, he says that, and also, I'm going to do everything I can to hurt you, hurt your career, alter it, change it forever. It's a nice back and forth between the two. What got me dead out of the seat, though, was after Balor walks away, Rollins thinking, okay, this is over. He obviously, Balor struck a nerve. He's taking the hot lavender mic off and everything, and wham, we just see a steel chair that just comes flying from out of nowhere, hitting Rollins in the face. And Balor just shows up, pouncing. I loved it, man. Some hilarious shit right there. I love that. So obviously, these two, SummerSlam, going to be seeing that go down. Got to give an honorable mention to the Viking Rules match between the Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders. It actually was a pretty solid tag match for what it was worth. Viking Raiders going over here. So much craziness that was going on here. Chad Gable doing some badass strengths of athleticism in this match. Some cool spots from the top rope. Otis looking pretty good as well. A lot of memorable stuff that was going on in here. I found this to be, of all the matches, most fun, most enjoyable. Shayna Baszler picking up a victory over Nikki Cross. I was so excited too. I said, hey, Nikki Cross. And I was even mentioning it in the chat. I said, where the hell my girl Nikki Cross been? Where that little tiny cute little morsel been? All right, because I miss her. I legit miss her. I'm like, where the hell she been? A few people were telling me, oh, she's been back in her homeland studying. Apparently she's majoring and all that. I'd like to know what she's been majoring in, but apparently she's been at it at school and all that. So I was like, but that was a very short. You blinked, you might have missed it. Ronda Rousey was in the crowd. She was high up in the nosebleed seats. A very mild, and I do mean mild reaction for Ronda Rousey. Looks like she was in a skybox or whatever, and I get what they were trying to do here. I get it, but Ronda came off more like, I did this, I did that, I did this, and I did that. I earned everything that was coming to me. Yeah, it kind of sounded a little bit more, annoying. She sounded very annoying to me. I just wanted to see Shayna Baszler mess her up again. The execution. I will say this about Ronda Rousey. I like her so better when she ditches the makeup and, her hair is just, it's not pulled back or none of that other, her hair is out and she's got that nice little, it's coming down one side of her face a little bit and all that. And it's kind of airy, it's dry basically. I like that Ronda, and that's the Ronda that we had show up tonight, wearing her trademark leather jacket, jeans. I like that Ronda. That's the Ronda I want to see show up more and everything, okay? Weird attire that she has for the ring. I don't even want to get started on that and everything, but, this was... I didn't particularly care for this segment. I'm happy for Shayna, though, because it's nice to see Shayna, who's been in the WWE for as long as she's been there. It's nice to finally see her get a really cool moment here, part of the main roster and everything. So, a lot more back and forth that we got going on here. They're looking to settle this. Ronda says, no, take a seat. and tells Shayna to make her. Shayna's like, yo, I got time for days. She runs up the steps, but Shayna does, but she stopped by security. Ronda says she'll do her a favor like she's done her entire career. She'll get her booked on SummerSlam. So basically, see you in Motor City, bitch, right? So that's pretty much how we're going to see them go down at SummerSlam when it's all said and done. Weird back segment from Ms. TV tonight, by the way. Very weird segment. So we got Becky Lynch, who comes out there. I know we're going to have some people say, oh, man, she wore some sexy pajamas. Oh, man, she wore some cute pajamas. Whatever the fuck it was that Becky Lynch was wearing, it looked like something that a 10-year-old would wear. Okay, so for me, there was nothing that looked sexy at all about the attire that she was wearing. Just imagine if you, and I said this in the chat, in the Discord chat, I said, guys, girls, just imagine if you're flipping the channels right now and you happen to pass this channel by and you're going, oh, who's this guy that's apparently interviewing this little girl in her pajamas, right? Especially when Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark ended up coming out there and they're beating the crap out of her and everything. You're going, and shout out to Jeff. Somebody, a few of you guys had tried to tell me, no, it's part of the Adidas line, part of the Adidas track line. And I'm like, yeah, it's on track, all right. It's on track to be one of the worst outfits to be wearing on a live segment when you're trying to be taken seriously as a what do you want to say, actor or athlete or entertainer or wrestler. You know, it made me go, okay, you know what, for certain segments WWE needs to bring back the mandate, right? You're like, we got to bring it back. I don't know how the hell she got cleared on wearing that outfit tonight. I don't know who the hell cleared that, but she had no business wearing that as far as I'm concerned. Look, fellas and ladies, y'all look cute. I give y'all your respective props. Y'all look cute when you want to wear certain little outfits, right? Especially when it comes to the bedroom, or you're just trying to lounge around in general, trying to be comfortable and all of that. My wife, she's a big fan of Looney Tunes, particularly Sylvester and Tweety. She loves everything Tweety. So, you know, she has her respected share of Tweety sleepwear and all of that. But there's a time and a place for that. You think she's going to be going to work and conducting interviews and all this other shit wearing that attire? Hell to the no. Right? Hell to the no. Not going to be wearing that, all right? Hey, I'm a fan of the comic book movie world, okay? I've got some Batman pajamas. I've got some Superman pajamas and Marvel this and Marvel that. You know, I may sport a thing or two here and there. You know, you get me in the right mood and I just don't give a fuck. You could probably catch me in my pajamas at the grocery store trying to grab some quick milk, some cereal, some yogurt, a couple of cans of food for the dogs, and boom, I'm out of there, right? I might get a couple, hey man, what you think about blah 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 movie? Oh, hey, it was pretty good, right? But you think I'm gonna be pushing that, even if I was in the clear? You think I'm gonna be pushing that at work? No. You know, it was, I wasn't a fan of that whatsoever. Especially when they were beating Becky Lynch down. You know, you're beating her down. I remember I said at one point, imagine if you're flipping through the channels and you see these, what appears to be grown women beating the hell out of some little kid, apparently, right? Or some teenager or whatever. And you're going, what the hell? Why are they beating that poor kid in her, who's wearing the pajamas? What's going on there? I laughed my ass off seeing that, honestly. I just thought that was the most hilarious segment of the night. Love that. So how we got to Zoe Stark and Trish beating up on Becky Lynch and all of that, Miz was taking a few jabs at Becky. essentially saying, yo, you haven't been the same, since you recently came back. You've been stringing together losses after losses after losses. You think you might be missing a step, and she just kirks the hell out, starts throwing stuff all over the place, and she's pretty much demanding that Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus come out. Kudos to them for making fun of the pajamas that she was wearing, throwing a temper tantrum like a little kid, like a little bratty toddler and all that. Even evoking Becky Lynch's kid's name. I thought that was a nice little touch as well. So this pretty much had set up Trish Stratus putting out a challenge saying, okay, you want to get your hands on me yet again, right? Okay, well, a couple of stipulations with that. One, you got to beat Zoe Stark. You've yet to do that. Remember, she's got a victory over you. Becky's like, all right, whatever, done. It's like, yeah, but she beat you before. Like, come on now. And it was pretty much, and when she does beat you, you're going to have to get on your knees and you're going to have to say, thank you, Trish. Becky's like, yeah, okay, whatever, done. And then the next thing was something about you're going to have to get thank you, Trish, tattooed on your body. Something along those lines. And Becky's like, whatever, bring it, all right? She's saying all this crap. Yeah, I read all of that right. Yeah, I was just playing it back in my head. I'm like, did I read all that right? What Trish Stratus was interpreting here? Because I remember I was jotting it down in my notes and everything. And yeah, she's gonna have to get on her knees and say thank you, Trish. And yeah, she is in fact going to have to get a tattoo, thank you, Trish, across her chest. Becky's like, yo, fine, bring it, whatever. They try to attack her, a little double team there. Kind of backfired just a tiny little bit. Becky ended up getting the mask off of Trish, somehow headbutting Zoe in the process. It was a big old clusterfuck from what I remember. It was definitely a clusterfuck. It was just one of those. Whew. Bronson Reed defeating Shinsuke Nakamura via DQ. Ciampa had came out there. It's kind of weird what had went down there. He calls the DQ when it was all said and done. He calls the DQ. This set up a backstage segment where Nakamura visibly frustrated. He looks to Ciampa, not really sure what to do. And he just gave into his anger, and he just kicked the living shit out of Ciampa. he's caught up with backstage, and he let it be known fairly simple, which is he is tired of everyone getting involved in his business. Byron tries to get him to talk about what he did to Tommaso Ciampa, and he repeats himself again. He is tired of everyone getting involved in his business. I loved it. I loved seeing this hot mean streak come from Shinsuke Nakamura, something that's been missing for quite a long time. Hey, if you guys been enjoying yourselves so far, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button down below. When you do that, you really help spread the good word about the content, help put more eyeballs on our content as well. Feel free to leave those ratings and reviews through Apple Music as well. That also helps us out big time. Matt Riddle losing to Gunther was the opener for Monday Night Raw. Almost a 10-minute match. Fairly good for what it was worth. We got to get away from this already, though. And I think after tonight, that's going to be it for Riddle constantly being in the mix and all of that. Remember, we had got a prelude to this because Drew McIntyre a couple of weeks ago, he said to Riddle, yo, not really a good idea for you to be doing a match one-on-one with Gunther. I'm not going to be there because I have a PR obligation, and you're not going to have any backup. And Riddle was like, no, I got this, right? And obviously he did not have it tonight. Gunther talking hot trash about how he is one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. Talks about Riddle being done as Gunther is building a legacy. Calls out Drew McIntyre in the process as well, saying if he wants to ride on his coattails, be his guest, but like everyone else, they will eventually fall victim to the ring general. So some good stuff right there. Other than that, our main event match, which was the WWE Tag Team titles on the line, as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens successfully retained over the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. Lot of fun. Whole lot of moving parts in this one, but because you even had, I remember Finn Balor was out there, but Seth Rollins came from out of nowhere, was continuing the assault on him. So I love the touch of overlapping, so much overlapping that you have going on here, because let's not forget, we got Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank, and his whole thing is, whether it's Balor or it's Rollins, hell, or Roman Reigns for that matter, or hell, the NXT champion, him, Carmelo Hayes, he's got next. That's all we need to know about Damian Priest. He's got next. So I love how you had all these moving parts that was going on for overall what came off to be a pretty solid episodes. And now that we're kind of just about around that corner from SummerSlam, things are finally starting to materialize and everything. The way they got these storylines being set up, it's pretty good. It was pretty good. Solid in-ring action for the most part. Definitely got to give them mad props for that. Huge props. I cannot give enough to Chad Gable. I mean, seriously, he was the workhorse in that match tonight with Viking Raiders. I definitely gotta give it up to him. That was definitely a very, very high mark there. Love the continuity that continued to follow as well, with Cody, Brock, Raiders, Alpha Academy. You got the Riddle, Gunther, while also continuing to thread in there Drew McIntyre, who just returned not that long ago. I mean, very good. If there was only one, what's going on here? I'm a little bit concerned. It could be just me, but it just feels like the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn honeymoon period is over. I mean, I'm just watching these guys. They're just kind of floating around there now, and it kind of feels like there's really no substance. There's no behind them. They're just there. And I hate to say that, but that's how I'm kind of feeling right now. It almost feels to me, to a certain degree, that the powers that be behind the scenes are not quite sure yet what to do with our boys KO and Sammy. I hope I'm wrong on that. I'm hoping that I'm totally reading that wrong, but it just feels like it's very weird, because WWE did, what was that? Was it Crown Jewel? What was the last Saudi event? Whatever the last Saudi event was, you would have thought for sure WWE would have continued to build off of that momentum and everything. And it just feels like it's gotten pretty ice cold between those two guys. And yeah, I mean, granted, we've seen them in some pretty funny, segments here and there, but I mean, it's gotten ice cold relatively quick. I'm actually going back so I can see the previous. Oh, it was Money in the Bank. No, Money in the Bank, that was in London, England. So no, it wasn't that. Let me go back. What was it? Was it Night of Champions? It was Night of Champions. That's what I was thinking of. Night of Champions. And I got such a great fucking rock star ovation. Yeah. And I'm thinking about what happened after that. I'm just a little bit curious. Let me see what happened after that. Sometimes I need to re-jog my memory just to get caught up in everything. I'm looking at the Money in the Bank card. Yeah. Money in the Bank. Wow, they didn't even do anything at Money in the Bank. That's ridiculous. They didn't even do anything at Money in the Bank. They had that event off. Then you had the NXT Great American Bash, right? And now we're going to go up to Summerslam. So yeah, it's been pretty ice cold for them since, that Saudi Arabia event, which was in late May. So hopefully, things are about to pick back up. I mean, if I'm just looking at the current landscape of WWE, man, this is a case right here where if it were up to me, like, how would you kind of, well, at least have the Judgment Day maybe do a little something with those guys. Continue to have the Judgment Day chase after them for the tag titles coming up at SummerSlam. At least go that route, I say. But then it becomes, okay, so who's going to team up to take on Sami and, right? So you kind of have that dilemma right there. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's kind of a tricky situation here because, part of me is going, well, why not go on ahead and run it back with Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio? Why not run it back? Part of me kind of feels as though, nah, that's been exhausted already. Let's just go in a different direction. I'm not sure who you would fit there for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, to be perfectly honest. Well, you know what? Actually, I do know. I do know who you would put in there for those guys. Put in from SmackDown, those two guys, Pretty Diddley. Put in Pretty Diddley. Even if they're going to lose to them, I would like to see something come about where they're egging those guys on for the next couple of weeks going into SummerSlam, all in an effort to get a shot at the tag team titles. I say go for it. Go for it. Just build them up even more. Build up their cachet and everything. Build up their rep even more. Put Pretty Diddley in there against KO and Sami Zayn. There you go. Let me know what you guys think. If you're down with that or if you're going to go in a different direction. Couple of little news tidbits. I'm not going to go full blown. I know that over the weekend there was Slammiversary. I don't want to get into that one because I have not seen Slammiversary yet. So I will be watching it between now and when I join you guys Wednesday night after Dynamite. I'll definitely have seen Slammiversary by then. So I've done pretty good for the most part, staying away from spoilers and all that. So Battle of the Belts is kind of funny because in regards to these Battle of the Belt specials, it's gotten to a point now where most of us go, there's really no point watching this because nothing really monumental is going to happen, especially as far as titles changing hands and all that. So yeah, it's just one of those, it's an hour of programming commitment that AEW has to deliver to Warner Discovery Media there. I watched it, nice little fast hour, decent in-ring action for what it was worth. AEW Collision, though, I did watch that. I got to give a lot of praise to my man Ian Riccaboni. It just made music, sweet music to my ears to hear that. I believe the good folks over at FIFA were among the first to report it, that Ian Riccaboni has inked a new multi-year deal there with AEW, and that is good. That is damn good. He is a great talent, and I gotta be honest. I'm very surprised that WWE or Impact Wrestling, I'm very surprised those guys did not try to make some type of play for him when everything was up in the air with ROH, and to the point, all talents. Because remember, when Sinclair Broadcasting had decided, okay, look, we're done. We're going to have ROH be put up for sale. Anybody that wants to walk away, you can pretty much go ahead. I'm very surprised that when all that had went down, talents like Ian Riccaboni weren't snatched up. But hey, that's great for Tony Khan. And I gotta say, I was really taken back. It's funny because I remember when I went into this weekend's Collision, I went into it prepared for another dose of Nigel McGuinness and Kevin Kelly. But no Kevin Kelly was there on the broadcast this week, and instead it was Ian. I love Ian. So he definitely hit it out of the park tonight, right down to the point. I honestly feel they should try and alternate between Ian and Kevin. I won't say a three-man booth. I don't think a three-man booth is needed. I say just switch it up. One week it's Ian, the next week it's Kevin, and just keep doing it just like that. I feel that at the current rate of what's been happening with the Rampage ratings, you got to do some serious shakeup there with Rampage. Of course, the latest numbers for Rampage is out, and it's not good. Kind of same sentiments that I had echoed off and on in my reviews for Rampage over on the 401mania.com site, and I reiterated it again as early as this past Friday when I did my review. I said that the powers that be, Tony Khan and them, for Rampage, they've got to make that show feel like, we know you got the Wednesday and the Saturday show, but you really need to watch the Friday show, because the Friday show, the talent we feature on there, and some of the story arcs that are continuing to develop, or it's the start of something that you're going to see that's going to first be introduced here on Rampage. They got to carve it out better. And, when you see the ratings that recently came out, and we'll talk about the numbers and all that on the Wednesday show, but at this point you're going, okay, what's all the options that we have available to us? How can we try to give this show its own distinct identity, make it better? And I tell you what, you can definitely start by taking a great talent, exceptional talent like Ian Riccaboni, and switching the game up on that Rampage show. Maybe let it be Taz and Riccaboni for Rampage, right? You inked him to a new multi-year deal. Better utilize that man where it freaking counts the most, as far as I'm concerned. Ricky Starks defeating CM Punk to capture the 2023 title, cup and all that for the Owen Hart tournament. I thought that was a damn good move. I thought it was the right move. It's so funny because a lot of us were under the impression that CM Punk definitely was going to win this. My friends, brothers in arms in the podcasting world, they all felt that CM Punk was going to get this. At least that's the indications that they gave off, that CM Punk was going to get this. I know at one point I toyed around with the idea to Mission Joe when I had appeared on the AEW Collision Roundtable discussion with them over on Wrestling Soup. We were toying around the idea there of maybe Samoa Joe, costs CM Punk the win here. And, for how everything played out, I thought it was exceptionally good. I like the fact that, we're going to do our very best to give the rub off to this young up-and-comer that's been putting in the work now. We got to do our part to really build this kid up even more. I like the fact that the nod was given there to Ricky Starks. Smart move. Great match between the two as well. Great. And the great finish. A controversial finish at that. Okay? Hey, loved it. Willow defeating Ruby Soho to be the 2023 Women's Owen Hart Cup winner. Fucking loved it. Nice touch right there. Yeah, that was another one of those, oh shit, Ruby's got this. Ruby's definitely got this. No. She might have been seeking revenge from the previous year and be justified this year, but it's one of those close but no cigar. Willow, I mean, I hate to sound redundant. The last thing I want to do is sound redundant. But I have sung the praises of Willow for so damn long. And Willow just, that is a bona fide megastar in the making, whether it's with AEW, WWE, or that is a megastar in the making. So the fact that they went in that respected direction, if it wasn't going to be Willow, I know a lot of us were rooting for Sky Blue. They did it right, as far as I'm concerned. They did it right, having Willow be the one to win that. No issue with the current winners for that. How about the match that went down, though, between FTR and Bullet Club Gold? 2 out of 3 falls. That thing almost went an hour. If you would have told me that was going to be an hour-long match, almost, I would have said, whoa. The official count was 58 minutes. So they were pretty close there. I kind of agree with some of you guys, because some of you all were saying in chat and forums that for as good as that match was, maybe it actually should have gone to a draw. And, you know, since you got a pay-per-view just right around the corner, maybe follow up with those guys there. I agree with you guys. For my personal taste, I just felt the match was a little bit too long. I get it, though, because AEW, that's 3 hours of live programming. So they got to pace themselves, you know, as best as they can. They got to stretch it out and everything. You know, I get that. That's probably my one little negative Nelly criticism about that match, though. It was too long for me. So some of you guys may say, well, how much would you have trimmed it by, Lee? I would have trimmed it by 20. Trimmed it by 20 minutes. And if that meant we had to go in another direction as far as, okay, well, what else are we going to do on this card? Hey, if it means I gotta invest in another women's match, okay, sure, let's go there. If I gotta invest in another singles match, okay, sure, let's go there. If I got the type of talent that AEW has there, Tony Khan and them has, I got depth on my roster. That's my whole point. There is serious depth. So I can definitely plug and play where I need to go. But I think for that match overall, though, factoring in the length of it, I ended up giving it a B minus. If it could have been trimmed just by about 20 minutes, definitely would stay at a B. And I'm saying B as in boy. It will definitely stay as a B. But yeah, I'm giving it a B minus for them. But that's still pretty good. So for you FTR fans and all that, hopefully you appreciate that. Hey, look, I saw what had went down over the weekend. I didn't watch SmackDown, but I had saw the still images and a little bit of the video of Shotzi Blackheart cutting off her hair. And when I saw this, this wasn't a case where, oh, she's cutting her hair because, okay, she's going to come out, it's going to be much shorter. Okay. No, like we're watching this girl shave her head bald. Okay. And obviously she's got the whole thing going on with damage control and all of that. Okay. But I'm seeing this and I'm going, oh, there's more to this story that meets the eye. There is a particular reason why this girl is shaving her hair off like this. There's a particular reason why. I thought it was beautifully executed, by the way. I love how they show Shotzi. She just pretty much went into this, you know, she's in this dark place where she has essentially just snapped, right? I thought it played extremely well. This had upset so many people. Whoa. I'm literally looking at it in the background here. Sorry about that. You know, like, but no, I like the fact that she literally fucking snapped, and you're going, what the hell is going on here, right? And you got Io and Bailey, they're just looking on, and they're just like, yo, this bitch snapped. What the hell, yo? What's wrong with this woman? But I'm looking at this, and I'm going, there's more to this that meets the eye. This is her trademark. Her hair is her trademark. Is she still Shotzi? Yeah, but you know, for those of us that's been following the career like I have for, you know, a few years now of Shotzi, you know, one of the first things that comes to your mind is, you know, besides her cute eyes, you think about that hair, okay? And obviously this had a few people pretty upset at the fact that she was shaving her hair. I know that there was a certain podcaster that jumped out there and was taking aim at WWE and Vince McMahon and saying stupid dumb shit like this is why, you know, company da. I'm looking at all of this and I'm seeing this is in real time, mind you. I'm not even watching SmackDown. I'm like literally just online, and I'm getting the updates that way, you know, and I'm paying attention even right on through when Rampage came on, and I'm just going, nah, man, there's more to the story than, and I didn't want to speculate. I did not want to speculate, but one thing that was in my mind as soon as I saw this, I said, either she's coughing up her hair for someone, and this is legit, no bullshit, this is legit. If I was live that Friday after SmackDown went off the air, this is exactly what I would have said to you. Either she is getting ready to donate her hair, which is, you know, decently long. She's donating it to some charity or whatever so they can, you know, help a kid or whatever, you know. Or someone close to her is going through something and she ultimately decided to shave her head, some form of solidarity. You know, one or the other. Or she really liked the idea of her character, you know, snapping and, you know, taking this to a whole new level. That also was in the back of my head as well. But those were the three things I thought automatically when I saw all of this floating around online. But I didn't speak publicly on it. You know why I didn't speak publicly on it? I didn't speak publicly on it because it'd be one thing if somebody asked me, yo, what's your thoughts on this? Go on record. What's your thoughts on this? What do you make of this news? That'd be one thing. Nobody asked me. I had my thoughts, but nobody asked me. Could I have easily put some random thoughts out there? Yeah, but I'm finding personally the older that I get, I don't want to just be reacting to something just to be reacting to something, especially when there's a story behind it, potentially behind it. I would rather wait. Whether it's the next day, 2 days, 3 days, I would rather wait until that information becomes available. Why XYZ happened. You're like, officially, here's what's up. Then comment, react to it. That's the one thing, you know, when I saw that certain podcaster that said what he said. And look, I get, for the people that love, adore him, think the world of him, mad respect to you guys. I'm not hating on you. Seriously, I'm not hating on you. I'm not judging on you. But when I saw what had went down, that was a perfect example of, when you don't know the call, don't even try to jump out there like you know the audible. Don't even try to jump out there. Just let it roll. Now, if you want to say as a fan, hey man, as a fan, longtime fan of Shotzi Blackheart's, yo, this fucking sucks. Why is she cutting her hair? The hair is what makes her, one of the things that makes her so distinct, so kick-ass, so unique. What the hell, man? I don't like that. That's a bad move. Who gave the green light for that? Like, even if she was down for it, like, nah, man, why you messing with the girl's hair? Okay, that's one thing. But to jump out there in such a way where, for a fact that, fucking Vince McMahon, his dumbass booking strikes again, and all this, look, I'm not saying this to suck my own dick, but I'm very proud to say I've never tried to make myself come off like I'm some know-it-all and I know this person, or, I've always kept it real with you guys. Always. To the point. Look at how bad that was when it eventually blew up in this guy's face. The certain podcaster, when it blew up in his face. And to those that were, trying to defend him, I also saw some fellow podcasters defending him. And this, to the fellow podcasters that, let me put it to you this way. The podcaster I saw that, was trying to come to this guy's defense. This is somebody I haven't fucked with for years, because as far as I'm concerned, he's very two-faced. But, I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, this is really the sword you want to die on? You really want to come to the defense of when you are the main individual for years? You've been saying on your respected show, you don't want to be first. You want to be right. You constantly, and when it counts the most, this is definitely a prime example about what you're talking about, and you're actually this is the hill you want to go climb on and the sword you want to fall on. Enjoy. But it turns out Shotzi, her sister, is dealing with a serious illness, and as a result of that, a GoFundMe was started up. She shaved her head on this past Friday's episode of SmackDown because she revealed in a Instagram story she did so in support of her sister Shawnee, who's battling liver cancer. Now, see, look, this other fellow podcaster, part of the community, I don't know if he's ever had to deal with a loved one that got diagnosed with some form of cancer, and I unfortunately know what that's like. I've had to deal with that with a loved one directly and indirectly. I've been at the receiving end of trying to do my part and helping organize little cancer races, raffles, and all that type of stuff on top of, hey, this person who I know has been dealing with. And when you are trying to show some form of solidarity, especially when it is a woman that is going through, that form of cancer where, she's pretty much been told you will be losing your hair because you're going to be getting these treatments. You're going to be losing your hair in the process. We're going to be putting you on this medicine, radiation treatment, blah this, blah that. A woman's hair. See, this is something that other podcasters are not going to break down to you. They're not going to break it down like this. That's not me sucking my own dick. That's just me keeping it 100 with you guys. Okay? Especially to the younger audience out there. A woman's hair. A woman takes her hair with such great pride, with such great joy, that for some women, without it, they feel extremely insecure, they feel lost, they feel ugly, they feel deformed, a whole lot of insecurities. Now, for some of us guys, some of us, unfortunately, we go bald at a relatively early age. We may not deal with cancer and all that other stuff. Knock on wood, right? That's a good thing. But for some of us, we lose our hair because of the genes. Whether it's on the father's side or, we lose our hair pretty early, but the way we go about it, okay, gonna lose my hair. All right, give me a razor. Okay, I'm good to go. What's up? I ain't gotta worry about it. A lot of sexy bald people, walking around, men and women. A lot of sexy bald people pushing it right, okay? But for some women, and usually as a form of solidarity, you will have people that will shave their heads to signify to that person that is going through that cancer battle, hey, you are not alone. We are with you. We're going to be going through this every single phase. Every single step of the way. We are going to be right there with you. Like I said, I know people that, for cancer, I know people that were affected by it directly. And I know of people indirectly, that had got affected with cancer, and, how the family had, hell, some of the people that I've worked with over the years, had to deal with some form of cancer, and as a form of solidarity, the family, all of them, shaved their heads. So I just couldn't believe that. It broke my heart when I saw that podcaster was saying what he was saying, because my whole thing was, dude, don't just always feel like you gotta react. There's more to this story, and if you can just bite your lips a little bit and wait until the actual news comes out, then you'll definitely look and come off a lot better, because man, you definitely had rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I would imagine he definitely rubbed a lot of people the wrong way after the fact, and it's very easy to, when it first comes out, oh man, another case of the stupid WWE, Vince McMahon booking, it's very easy to just be that simple-minded, narrow-minded. That's not an insult, right? But it's just, that's what happens when you're not really, wait a minute, I should be looking at this from a couple of different angles. What's really going on here? Is it just at face value a haircut, or is there something else going on here that maybe we just don't know about yet? For me, as long as I've been following the career of Shotzi, and that hair has always been a trademark of hers, I can't ever recall a period, at least from the time that I started watching her on the Independents. I would have to go further back to see, because Shotzi, she's been at it, my God, I'm trying to think. I think Shotzi's been at it since at least, I think she's been at it since at least 2009, 10, 11, around that period. If maybe it's a little later than that, might be a little later than that she basically got into wrestling and everything. But I remember when I started checking her out, she was still running around making appearances for Evolve and Shimmer. And way back then, the hair, it was the green hair, it was always a trademark. Always a fucking trademark. So for me, I honestly, no bullshit, I felt something was up. I just wasn't sure what. And she revealed that on her Instagram story, what was going on. There's a GoFundMe that's been launched to aid her sister in her recovery, as apparently she is in recovery from I'm going to try to pronounce this. I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm probably going to butcher this. A hang on. Yeah, I'm going to need to know how to pronounce this. This is a case right here where I'm going to need Google to say it for me. And we're all going to learn how to say it together here tonight. Here we go. No. We need to actually know how to pronounce this. How do we pronounce this? No. Here we go. This is 26 seconds. I just need to know how it sounds. Let's see. We're going to listen to this YouTube clip here.
Hepatectomy.
Hepatectomy. There you go. Say it again. Hang on.
All or part of the liver.
Say it again.
Hepatectomy.
Hepatectomy. There you go. There's a little tongue twister there, right? That's how it is sometimes. You see certain words, it's like, you know what you want to say, but the mouth is kind of struggling to get that out and everything. But yeah, so there's a GoFundMe for that. Their goal is to raise at least $30,000. Last I checked, they were almost there. Right now they've got about $19,382 that's raised. And look, I'll make a deal with you guys. Anybody that donates $15, this is strictly for RCWR show listeners, and this is how I know that basically, you know, you had checked out the episode on demand or on the downloads. Anybody that donates at least $15 towards that GoFundMe for Shotzi's sister, I will get you a wrestling shirt of your choosing from Impact. It could be New Japan. It could be AEW. It could be from the WWE shop. You tell me the shirt, I'll get it for you, assuming that you've already researched and, you know, you got a link for me ready to go. So if you want to take me up on that, like I said, all you got to do, show me proof. Don't show me your credit card information and all that, but take a screenshot. Show me proof that you had donated at least $15 or more. And I will definitely hook you up with a shirt of your choosing. You know, it just breaks my heart when I hear stuff like that, you know, especially when it happens to somebody so young, so beautiful, looks just like Shotzi. I mean, when you see it, you get a really good idea how Shotzi would look without the makeup, without the dye. I mean, you're like, wow, literally, it looks like her goddamn twin sister there. So I will post the link in the chat for you guys right now for those of you that are interested. The link is now live, so you'll see it, and I'll make sure that it's also included in the episode description of the episode. But you know, yeah, that I get it. In real time, a lot of us, trust me, there's a lot of stuff I see in real time where I just go, but there's some instances where I just get a really weird vibe and I just won't say anything. The older I've been getting now, it's been a case where I want to wait until more information comes out. In a day and age where you see some body cam footage and you go, I just got to react to that. Hold up. Wait a minute. You know, there's a lot more to it than that footage, right? Let's wait till the entire footage comes out before, because we need to understand how we got to that point. Then when the full footage is put out there, ooh, damn, right? It's crazy sometimes. EC3, he's announced a new promotion called the launch of Exodus Pro. First show is going to be going down August 12th. He announced the launch of a new independent promotion, Exodus Pro, that's going to debut next month. Posted this on his Instagram account. He noted that the promotion will feature talent from the Control Your Narrative cooperative, with the first event taking place in Cleveland, Ohio. So, honestly, that's a promotion, another promotion that honestly I won't be checking it out. I hope it does well for him and all of that good stuff. Some interesting news came about in regards to Eric Young and why he reportedly left WWE as far as possible reasons. Now, Fightful, PW Insider, they both have pretty much been putting out there the same information. Now, let's rewind this back. As far back as April, Eric Young had been signed to a WWE contract. If you remember, there was a report that came out back in April that Eric Young had signed a WWE contract in November, but we had yet to see him appear on television. Okay? Now we get the word that he actually had left the company a few months back after he signed with WWE. He ended up asking for his release. Now, I will put a major spoiler out there, so you guys don't want any spoilers. You might want to hit the mute button right now, come back in 30 seconds. But as some of you all know that check out Impact Wrestling, you know, Slammiversary was right before the weekend, and Eric Young made his return to that promotion. So initially, some of the reports that's floating around out there looks as though Eric Young was going to have some type of a role with a new Wyatt family stable. This was supposed to consist of Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas. Eric definitely was supposed to be thrown in there. There was also talk of possibly having Alexa Bliss be thrown in there, but when you factor in some undisclosed illness, you know, whatever's going on with Bray Wyatt, he pretty much had to step away for a bit. And then you have Alexa Bliss, who's on paternity leave, or maternity leave, right? She's expecting. I always get the two mixed up. You know, but she is expecting. So she's out right now. You know, so you had all of those factors go into place, and this pretty much left Eric Young in a very fragile position, especially when Endeavor kicked in, and this basically meant Vince McMahon was back in full effect. According to sources that spoke with Fightful, Young made his request to leave WWE after the announcement of Endeavor's deal with WWE. Reason being, he did not want to work with Vince McMahon, who was back in charge officially. He reportedly had moral, creative, and personal reasons why he did not want to work with McMahon. So there were creative plans for him after WrestleMania, but as far as what exactly, at this point, Eric Young is the one that could definitely speak a lot more on that. Maybe he will in due time. Have to wait and see. You know, but you know, when you hear that, you go, you know, part of you goes, obviously, here's a man that could have just fell in line and just kept cashing those checks, enjoy it for what it's worth, and you know, but here's a guy right here that essentially stuck to his principles and said, now, you know what, I'm honestly good. I'm just gonna go ahead, take my ball, go elsewhere, see ya. You gotta respect that. You gotta respect that. As I've always said on this show from time to time, when one truly understands their worth, their self-worth, it's all about going out there and getting it, and why settle for less? here's a perfect example right here where you have a man that has his respected morals. He knows his self-worth, and he's not going to settle for anything less than that. And he went out and, right? And hey, you got to respect that. You got to respect that. I don't know how many people would actually do that. Seriously, especially when the money is that good. You know, there's a lot of people you hear all the time, I would never. You know, but you don't really know until you're actually put in that position. Everybody talks a real good fucking game about what they would do and all of that, but life hits you fast. And you don't really know what you're going to do. It's kind of funny because as of late, me and the wife, we've been watching episodes of I Love Lucy. Just one of my guilty pleasures, how I unwind for the night after I've taken my melatonin and I'm trying to just mellow out, rest my eyes, because my whole day I'm looking at some type of screen, whether it's on my phone or I'm looking at a tablet. So at the end of the day, I like to give my eyes a little bit of rest, and I'll usually put on something that's black and white, you know, typically, and everything, help them out a bit. And one of my favorite episodes that I like to see of I Love Lucy is the episode where there's actually quite a few. There's actually quite a few that I think about, but the one I'm thinking about particular, to link it back to, you know, knowing your worth and all of that, is the one where Ricky tries to ask for a raise from his boss. And his boss tells him, yeah, Ricky, my boy, it doesn't look like a raise is going to be in the cards for you in the foreseeable future. So Lucy jumps in there, and she already told Ricky, because the episode opens up with the two of them talking about this raise, because Lucy's pushing for Ricky to ask about a raise, getting a raise. And Ricky's going, nah, I don't really want to rock the boat. And she's like, but Ricky, you know, you've been telling me, you know, all these months how business has been so good and the boss really likes you. You got this great rapport, and look, not for nothing, but we could use the extra. Excuse me, we could use the extra money. You know, so Lucy's like, get your worth. You know your value. Understand your value. Once you understand your value, go get your worth. That's pretty much how she's breaking it down to him. And so once the boss says no, I'm not going to get a raise, Ricky's just pretty much about to fall in line. Well, okay. And Lucy she ain't letting up on that. She's going, well, that's unfortunate, because, you know, Ricky had got a couple of offers. Of course, she's lying, okay? And it ends up backfiring, where the boss says to Ricky, well, Ricky, my boy, since you got these other offers, I'm going to let you go. You know, I don't hold no grudge, no ill will. Go ahead and, you know, get that deal when there is no deal, okay? There is no deal. So Ricky, Fred, and Ethel, they work on a way to sabotage the club and Ricky's replacement in hopes that it'll be such a piss poor turnout that the boss will have no choice but to beg Ricky to come on back, which ultimately the boss does. But Ricky's like, no, you know, since I'm in such great demand and so many people were asking about me, and, you know, I figured I can just be my own boss and work where I want to work. I'll just represent myself, and, you know, I'll go to the highest bidder that, you know, wants to have my services at their respected nightclub. At the end, they're like, fuck, you know, because that's not what was supposed to happen and everything. So, yeah, man, that's the most precious, valuable thing that's out there, man, is self-worth. And, you know, once you have that self-worth, you know what you're going to put up with, what you're going to deal with, you know, what you're going to be about and everything. Once you got all that down, you're dangerous, man, because Because basically, ain't nobody gonna pull a fast one on your ass. Okay, that's how it is in a nutshell. So mad respect to him for standing. If all that is true, allegedly, now that's what's being reported. If all that is true, kudos to him. Because not everybody would do that. It's like, dude, just shut up and take the money, enjoy it, pocket it, put as much to the side as humanly possible, right? Just don't know, right? Enjoy the ride while it lasts, my dude. Never know. You never know. Other than that, I wanted to say congratulations, by the way. I had mentioned Mission Impossible earlier. I gotta give a congrats to them because it looks like they had a great day as far as opening weekend goes. They did extremely well. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, it conquered this weekend. It was number 1 in the what the hell? I hate when that happens. It was number 1. It was number 1. This is the 7th film in the franchise. It brought in a little bit over $56 million over the 3-day weekend, below the $70 million expected 3-day take. It ranks as the 3rd highest 3-day opening of the franchise, so it's behind Mission Impossible's Fallout, which did a $61 million start, and Mission Impossible 2, which did $57 million. That said, it is still the best 5-day start of the franchise, having opened on Wednesday and reached 85.5 million. So that's great. You ain't got to worry about no real estate from any Marvel movies and all of that right now. This is great. This is great. By the way, I was talking with some buddies in the Discord earlier, and we were talking about, what was it? Secret Invasion. I'm going to leave you guys with this. I can't believe that Secret Invasion, this 6-episode miniseries that's on Disney Plus, starring Samuel L. Jackson, the budget for this is like over $225 million. And if you've watched this, you're going, wait, $225 million for what? Because all you see is a lot of talking, couple of explosions here and there, a couple of green aliens, once in a blue moon. But yeah, this is one of those talky type of shows, character-driven talky type of shows. And 6 episodes, over $225 million. Now, obviously, Samuel L. Jackson is eating a big chunk of that budget. I mean, he's probably easily walking away with about maybe 125 of that or whatever. And then you got, Emilia Clarke, the girl from Game of Thrones or whatever. She probably got a nice, substantial, nice little payday. Okay? So, but you're just looking at that, you're going, for what? For what? Makes no sense. Over $225 million. Shout out to Mish. Mish was telling me how, he's like, you think that's bad? He's like, look at what went down with She-Hulk. Apparently, each episode for She-Hulk, and I think She-Hulk ran what? She-Hulk ran for 10 episodes, I believe it was. I think it was either 10 or 13 episodes, but the whole point, that ran $25 million. So you're going, wait, what? It just fucking crazy. Seriously. And yet the visual effects for She-Hulk, when you compare it to frickin' Secret Invasion, I mean, it's night and day. It is seriously night and day. And somebody brought up a good point about the visual effects people. There's no union for them. So, unfortunately, a lot of these studios, they are given these projects, they aren't really given enough time to properly rest, put all their respected resources, at a solid rate, get the graphics where they need to be, up to, excellent standards and everything. There's a reason why you're seeing all these rush freaking graphics. Is because they're being overworked. That some people would say, but they're getting paid good money, decent money for the most part. Yeah, there's a whole lot of asterisks by it. There's a whole lot working multiple days straight. Some have worked, my God, 10, 12, 14 days straight. Lot of hours in there, okay? A lot of hours, maybe 14, 15 hours, barely able to go home, properly rest, and all that other stuff. Is one project after the other, or taking on and doing multiple projects at the same time and trying to hurry up and meet those respected deadlines. That's why I think it's really good that whoever the old Disney chairman CEO was, I'm glad they bumped him and Bob Iger is back in the mix, because the Bob Iger, Kevin Feige 1-2 punch, that honestly had worked really well. Hey, we're just going to work on one thing for Disney Plus. This is what's going to come out as far as movies go. We'll put maybe 1 or 2 things out, but that's going to be it. I always say to you guys, quality over quantity. And the quantity has just really been hurting Marvel and DC these past handful of times and everything. But yeah, I just heard, I'm like, what the hell is going on there? Right? All that fucking money that's being wasted. Just Jesus. But Mission Impossible off to a good start. I'll share some more news with you all on Wednesday, but because I gotta confirm. But my wife was telling me that apparently Tom Hanks is not Tom Hanks. That'd be something though. That'd be something. Tom Hanks as MLK. No. If you get that joke, shout out to you. Pat yourselves on the back. But no, I was thinking about Tom Cruise still. Sorry about that. But apparently Tom Cruise is thinking about doing a Days of Thunder sequel. I gotta find out more about that. I'm just picturing in my head exactly how would that go. Would your ex-wife Nicole Kidman, highly unlikely, but still, you just can't help but, would she come back to reprise her role, or is it truly water under the bridge, or how exactly? Most curious how that would go down, but that's for another time. Let's stick a fork in it. Call this episode DONE done. Your next edition is going to be dropping Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. We'll be on at a couple of minutes after AEW Dynamite goes off the air. Loads of Dynamite news. We'll get into post-show fallout, AEW news. We'll talk about the Collision ratings, because the ratings for this past weekend not out yet. We'll talk about it. We'll talk a lot more about Rampage and its future. I will definitely offer up some ideas as far as ways that show could be greatly improved upon. We'll talk Impact Slammiversary as well. Loads of good stuff that we'll get into on the Wednesday show. Meanwhile, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave those ratings and reviews on the for the podcast. Leave the ratings and the reviews for Apple Music. You can get at me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Use the keywords the RCWR show. And that is going to do it until next go round. I'm wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you all next go round. Take care, y'all.